Hey everyone, in this video we're going to migrate a WordPress website from one server to another server using a free plugin called Duplicator. Now, the free version of this plugin works up to a website of about 1 GB in size. After that, they do say that you need to get the premium version. To be honest, I've never used the premium version because generally I migrate websites using the manual process of compressing the files, downloading them, uploading them to the other server, and transferring the database. But sometimes Duplicator is just really fantastic for grabbing a backup and whizzing it over to another server. Usually really good to just quickly set up a dev site or something like that to have a few preliminary experiments on or explore a few tasks. Now, if you're going into web design and you're going to create client sites, this is one of those, it feels at first quite scary to do, especially when you have to take one of their websites offline to upload their new one. But once you understand the fundamentals of how the site files work, how they interact with the database, then you'll start to feel quite at ease with it. But you do need to learn these things. It's worth going through this video. Don't skip anything. Just go through the video, look for all those little bits of information, and then have a conversation with ChatGPT to fill in the blanks. But you'll learn all of the fundamentals from this. I will do a video on a manual site transfer as well in the future. But first of all, let's show you how to get a dev site to live for your clients using Duplicator. So the site that we're going to migrate is just a small foundation business website. It's only 5 pages. It's not very big at all, so it's going to be really easy to do. And actually, this is the site that we build in my new course, which is this one here, Build Your First Business Website with Breakdance. Breakdance is a really great website building tool, and I would recommend that start learning with this. If you want to go into web design, this is a really fantastic tool to use. It's what I use most of the time, and there's a discount code for you in the description if that's of interest. But like I say, this is just a very light foundation business website, and we're going to be able to migrate this without too much trouble at all. I will just show you in my ClickUp. I have the tasks for how to migrate a website using Duplicator all laid out and with time estimates here. So you can see how long each one of these items would take. And if you would find it easier to have this so you can work through it, I have shared the link. You can get hold of that if you visit the description below, obviously. But yeah, you can just work through that. First thing we need to do is create a backup in the sending site. So yeah, it's all laid out for you as we need it to be. I'll just quickly say that what I'm migrating from is a dev server on Siteground, and I've just got a new hosting account for a few more client sites. Never been in this interface before, so I'm actually going to be learning whilst doing as I flow through this. But again, you're going to learn that the fundamentals are all there. And you will go into different panels at different times in your web design career. You're going to go into a different panel and go, what the hell? This isn't cPanel. It's not what I've used on hosting it. It might look like this, which this is a really terrible one. But yeah, you just have to understand the fundamentals and what you're looking for, and you'll get there in the end. Okay, so let's consult our list. The first thing we need to do is create a backup in the sending site. And so we need to install the Duplicator plugin. Let's see if we can beat that in a minute. Go along to our site, go to dashboard, or I could have gone to plugins, and add a new plugin. Type in Duplicator, and you'll notice I've already got it. I could update it. So yeah, well, let's do that and pretend that we're installing it. And it's already activated anyway. So happy days. That's taken a bit of a while. Come on, all right, so let's click down there, and here we have Duplicator installed. Okay, so you would install it and activate it and click complete. Wonderful. Okay, next we need to do is create the actual backup. So we go along to Duplicator here and backups, and we just need to click create new. And you're going to have a chance to title it here. I like to title with the date and then something like the name of the site. That does well, but it's always good to have the date, and this format really works as well. Keeps it chronological in your file system. And so click next. Of course, my face is in the way. It does an initial scan, and we see that this site is 155 megabytes. It got a few size checks and everything, but generally this is all looking quite good. You do need to make sure that you are running the same PHP version on each of the sites. Quite honestly, I haven't checked that, but I'm sure it's fine. We'll cross that bridge as and when. So once everything looks quite fine, this is okay. Just click build. And sometimes you might get something like a host build interrupt. If you have access to it, you're going to need to go into your ini files or ini files and increase your memory and just generally bump everything up. That can get rid of the host build interrupt. Okay, cool. So I've created a backup. Yay. I didn't time that, but I'm sure we would have beaten it. And download both files to the device. What that means is we're going to have an installer and an archive. So this is actually the zipped file. This is our entire website. And we want to download both of those. So click download, and you might have to allow it from your browser. It might need permission to do that. Let's have a look. I will stick them into another folder together. This is what they're looking like here. We have the archive folder here, and then we have installer. Now I just happen to have 11 other or 10 other installers, but if that's the case for you, you just need to delete it so that it looks like this. Okay, so we've got two files. I always put them in their own folder. I zip them up and I put them somewhere else nice and safe as well. So I use this as a way to get an off server copy as well. Cool. So we actually do have our downloads, our backup downloaded. That's great. So this is now complete. Whoop whoop. Go us. Okay, now we need to go to the receiving host. We need to create a receiving host database. This is where you might feel like it gets a little bit scary, but the installation, the migration is made up of essentially two different components. One of them are the actual site files. And then we also have the database component, and this is all of the information, the brain of the website. So in the files, we have all of the plugins, all of the images, and the database is going to basically say what goes where. And perhaps we need to jump into a database in a future video and have a little look at some of how WordPress works at least. But what we need to do is create the database that the duplicator installer is going to essentially import the database into. So let's have a look at what we have to do here. So the next thing we need to do is actually create a database. So in the Hostinger interface, I can see that I need to go to databases here, and these are the typical values that we're going to need to create. We need a database name, a username, and a password. Okay, so these are the essentials here. So I might do something like, power up 2025. I'll call that the same for this. And then we need a password. So you might want to actually take notes of this. I would advise that you do. So you want to do it something like this. Not in your ClickUp, obviously, in a password manager. And then we create a nice strong password. Will it generate one for us? Oh, it does. Ooh, nice. I would like something that begins with a capital letter or number. Okay, cool. And I'm going to note that down there because we're going to need that later on. Okay, so we have the database name, the user, and the actual password there. Okay, so all of that is in place, and look at that, we've got the database created successfully. Here we go. This is that database. That's all done. Now we've actually done all of these at the same time, so or both of these at least. and complete. Now we need to add permissions. So the user needs to have full permissions for writing, reading, all the rest for the database. Okay. Now I don't actually know where to do that in here. So let's have a little look. Change permissions. And all of them are selected, which is absolutely great. Often you will see a list of all of these and then just one checkbox at the top that says all permissions, and you click it, checks all of them, and away you go. So update, we have done that as well. So let's click that to complete. I haven't timed myself, obviously. Next, we need to upload the backup files to the receiving host public HTML. Okay. Again, it might seem a little bit scary. Before I do that, though, I just want to encourage you that if you're in another different panel, again, we're just looking for the same sort of elements. Okay, so we need to create a database, we need to create the user, we need to create a password, and then we need to give all permissions to the user for the database. Okay, so that's the list. It's in ClickUp. You can't go wrong. So looking in this panel, if you found that you are in a client's panel and they're a rubbish host and it looks like this, obviously you would think, okay, I'll check out database, and we've got a few different databases here. I've got 2 of unlimited, so I can create another one. And look at this, we've got database name under create database. So again, it might be something like Power Up 2025. So I think it's good to do something that is indicative of when you've done it and what it is. So that's good. We would click create, and in this one, and you can see it here, user with the same name and a secure password would be automatically generated. You can see that we get all of the information here. So we would need to note all of these down. It's also worth, some hosts, most of them have the host name of localhost. Some of them don't. So it is worth just quickly checking in on that because you do need it. So my advice is take all of that, copy it, put it safe. We need it for the installation. But just to show you, that's how you can find your way around another panel. It's all looking for the same thing. Now, what I haven't seen here are permissions. Manage users. To manage, is this where we'll find permissions? No. Oh, privileges. So it is privileges, and you see we have all of them checked, but that's all ready to go anyway. Okay, cool. So that was just a little, bit of a sidestep there, just to say, hey, if you're in a different panel, we're looking for all of the same elements here. Create the database, create the user, add the permissions. You will find it. Okay, so next we need to upload backup files to receiving host public HTML. Okay, so we need to upload our duplicator files and the installer to our receiving host file system. Might sound scary, but let's pop along to our hosting or account again, and we need to go into the file manager. Okay, so click on in there, and we need the public HTML, so we need to go into that one. So double click on this one. Yeah, it is. And we have a default PHP. That's fine. I'll just quickly show you again on this other panel, just so you can get the experience. We're looking for File Manager. It looks a bit more scary here. Now, I'm actually going into a website that exists at this point, and then we go into public HTML. This is an existing site. It's an old course site that I had. And this is what a WordPress installation looks like in the actual files. And of course, you would need to delete all of these if you were going to install duplicators. So, you're in your client's site. You've got a backup if you need it, of course, and you need to replace their site with your new duplicator dev site. It's all wonderful, ready to go. So you now need to delete these. So select everything, hit remove, skip trash. Okay, I'm not going to do that on here because I do need to take a final backup of this one before I pack it away. But I just wanted you to see what that's like. Okay, so here we are in the file system, public HTML, and we need to upload. So let's find this one here. It looks like an upload to me. Great. and select an option to upload. I thought I would just be able to drag in my multiple files. I don't much like that. Maybe I can. Just going to drag on in. No, I can't. Okay. I'm now doing it one at a time, but you know, we're going for it. Let me get my face out of the way. So I dragged one of the two files, the actual zip file, onto that stupid little icon. Usually, to be honest, it's drag and drop, and you can just skip both files in at the same time. Okay, so we're nearly there. Great. Okay, so we have the zip file in there. Let's also get the installer in. Yay. Okay, no worries. So now we have both of our files that we retrieved from our initial site. We have both of the files and we have a database created. Okay, so we are good to go. Let's pop back here because I need my domain name. This is my temp domain. I'm assuming it's all of that. Again, my first time with Hostinger. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing when I go to just the domain. But what I need to do, and I'll just drop the screen a bit here so you can see, I need to add on / and installer.php. Okay, so now if I click this, it initializes the installer. And I can pull that back on up. Yay. Right, now we just simply need to add in the details that we stored earlier on. Okay, so those were these. Oh, I've lost it. There we go. Click, click, because they were the same. And then I just need to get that password. Wonderful. And then click validate. Shouldn't really get any issues here. Sometimes you might see that there's a PHP match. Sometimes you might see that it's a different database version. Here we are. So usually between MariaDB and MySQL, it's usually fine. It fixes it out okay. Generally, it's quite fine. So at least have a go. I've read and accept all terms and notices, and go for it. Now all it's going to do is extract them, install everything with the database, and we are almost good to go. I think this is going to be an absolutely fine installation. Next, it's going to ask us to obviously sign into our new site, and it would then remove all of the installation files to keep everything nice and tidy. So click admin login. I'll just quickly say it has not happened only once when I have not had my login credentials, because I've been using an automatic admin login on a dev site, and then I've gone into I've needed to sign into the admin login and been like, what the hell? So make sure you have all of that. Okay, duplicator. This site has been successfully migrated and it is removing all of the files that we do not need. That's really cool. Just check in on any of the stats. The first thing we need to do really is open a new tab and let's go for a walk around the site. Look at that. All working fine at this point. That's really great. And again, if you want to know how to build this site using Breakdance, this is a foundation business website. It's a perfect offering to a local business that just wants to get an initial digital presence. And the best thing is that it's just ready to scale up with some custom post types and more complexities. But it's everything they need as a first digital offering, and it gets them in your doors as as a committed client. So if you want to know how to build this, again, just pop along to the link in the description below. There is a discount code for you, so you can get on with this starting today. But as you can see, if I just bring the URL down here, we have the same site on different URLs, and it's functioning perfectly, which is a relief. Sometimes something can go a little bit wrong and you may need to refresh your permalinks. So if you are navigating around the front of the site on your tests, and let's say you go to about and you get a 404, or just something isn't correct, what you need to do most likely is pop along to settings and permalinks, and without actually changing anything, just save. It's going to fix all of the URLs, and usually that is what does the trick. So that is how to put a client site live using the free version of Duplicator, which can migrate a site up to 1 GB. Now, that's usually the case if you have a fresh development, a new website that you've created for them, and you need to put it onto their live server. A new website shouldn't be over a gig at all. So this is going to do you well. I will in the future video cover a manual migration. So we pack down the files in the database. I think that's important for you to know. And I should comment that in the ClickUp list, which again, you can follow the link in the description below and you can import this into your own ClickUp. There is an item, go through DNS proxy or host file. And that wasn't necessary in this process because we're going from one domain like dev1 myserver.co.uk and then to client's beautiful business website.co.uk. So they're different domains. In this scenario, it's not necessary to use that. I'll cover that in another video because it is important to you to understand, but we'll need to open up the terminal and you might not be too comfortable with that. We'll do that in a dedicated video. So again, I will cover that in a future video. I'll also do a manual migration in a future video, but this is going to help you put most of your clients' sites live on their server. Again, if you'd like to learn how to build that website with Breakdance, then follow the link in the description below and you will find a discount code. So you can get learning today and learn how to build that entire site. Okay, so any comments, throw them in the comments below, and like, subscribe. And if you have any ideas for tutorials, something that you would find valuable to learn, throw it in the comments below and I'll see if I can get a video together for you. Okay, until next time, have a good day.